Okay, I'm gonna try this again, you guys. Part two. The energy got kicked me off, which has known to happen. I'm back. I don't know if you guys were on the. I did well. Forget about it. When I work with the Syrians sometimes, and they come in really strongly, which they just freaking did. They came in so strong just now. Um, whew, they come in strong, the Syrians, and then the Wi-Fi gets all messed up. So we're back. And wow, did I get taken over by that energy? Um, Whew, they came in so strong. Anyway, you guys, so what they were trying to get across to us potently um, was how we can start to recognize this third dimensional consciousness that we're in, this cloud that we're in, the programs and the paradigms that we believe in, that we live in order to step out of them so that we can start co-creating the way we have designed ourselves to co-create in this lifetime. And they are basically wanting us to recognize that tomorrow, which is the 8-8, and this isn't just about the 8-8 portal, oh, tomorrow, right? It's the most potent part of the entire 2 weeks is tomorrow's like massive day. And you can work with them at any time. Okay. So if you're watching this 3 weeks later, it's okay. But you guys, they want us to literally sit down with a pad of paper, a pen, a journal, drawing, a, a tape recorder. They don't care, but get to co-creating with them. Tell yourself, communicate with your higher self. Like imagine that you're like creating your piece. You are in charge. We're not victims. There's no victimhood in higher frequencies. None. We are in charge of our now moment. We're in charge of every other now moment. And we have to start to practice how to do this. It's almost like, when you learn how to swim, right? It's like you had to jump in or learn how to ride a bike. You had to learn how to start. Like you have to start doing it. And you have to start practicing what it means to create your reality, to create your now moment, to take charge, to choose, and start recognizing what are we believing in? What are we telling ourselves? You know, I had an interaction with somebody where I wanted to charge a certain number for an offer. And it was a low price because I wanted a lot of people to be able to purchase it. And this person didn't want it that low because they had this belief in their head that if it's that low, then they won't make the money they want to make. But that thought isn't real. That thought that they're not going to make as much money is a belief system, a program, and there's no truth to it. Because my belief was charge this small amount, there's going to be 10 times more people and you're going to make a lot more money. But this person's idea was I'm not going to make enough. My connection is unstable again. Anyway, the point is that we have to get clear on the programs, get clear on the paradigms, get clear on all of this. I know it's happening again. Come on, you guys. Let's work. And start to co-create. So tomorrow, the point of this live, and I'm going to hurry up because I don't want to be kicked off again. The point of this, you guys, is to work with them, co-create with them, tell them what you want, tell them what next the timeline you're pulling in or stepping into, bringing into your reality. Let them take what it is that no longer serves you. Believe that you can do this. Believe that you can have what it is you want. Believe it. If these Syrians were sitting here right now in front of you, this is what they would tell you. You deserve every single thing you want. You deserve all of it. And you can have it. You have to start to believe. You have to start to get clear on your programming and paradigms. You have to remember the quantum field that you live in. You have to start to realize that this field of vision you're seeing and playing and swinging isn't the only one. This isn't the only reality. This is one of an infinite amount of realities that you can step into. There's so many opportunities. And because we live in a third dimensional consciousness, it's really challenging to throw that heaviness off of us so that we can see beyond this veil, so that we into and tap into and be in these higher consciousnesses. It's very easy to believe, know in your logical mind what it means to connect to higher self, what it means to embody higher self. We read, we hear people talk about it, we understand it, logically it makes sense. Maybe we feel it every once in a while, but it's a whole different ballgame when you start practicing it. When you start practicing living with your higher self, when you start practicing courageously doing what your higher self is asking you to do, when you start courageously honoring and loving every aspect of you without judgment or duality, right? When you start to allow yourself to hold even firmer boundaries and say no over and over and over again, because no means I love you. I love you, meaning you. I love me. How much do I love so that I'm going to continue to say no to that which no longer serves me and it may upset. That is practicing being in these higher frequencies. We have to start practicing. Practicing is to co-create with the beings that you can't even see, and trusting and knowing that you deserve that you can have that. You deserve to be able to create. It's your right. And then watching yourself experience and feel all of the emotions, all of the beliefs, and still do it anyway. That's courageously being in their frequencies. It's what we're trying to do. We have to start to do it. So tomorrow or today, because I know for many of you on the other side of the earth plane, it already is 8/8. Spend some time alone. Sit and really energetically feel the release of what you don't want anymore, that's not serving you, that's old, that's from a timeline that you were in another time, literally. You're ready to release it. Visualize yourself connected to that timeline when, let's just have a fear of separating from somebody, a relationship, right? You're afraid of being alone or afraid of not having that someone. That came from some past experience somewhere. It's not from this now moment. It was learned, it was programmed into you. Not in this now moment, it's in a previous now moment. So if you're releasing things like that, including money and lack of money and not having enough money, that too is not in, right? It's it it's being pulled, connected energetically to past experiences. So the way that you clear that and collapse that timeline into the now moment is you start to visualize an energetic cord to that moment, whether you know what that moment is or not. Visualize that there was a moment where you learned that, where that became a program for you, it became a belief system for you, and you release it. Visualize that cord breaking, visualize yourself separating from that timeline, separating from that moment. And again, if you can't remember that moment, it's okay. Just know that the programs and paradigms and belief systems that are not serving you in this now moment that you would like to release are based on a previous now moment in a past timeline. And so you just want to cut it. The way you collapse timelines is by just visualizing yourself standing in a sovereign space, sovereign field. If I want to tap into energetically a past timeline, a past moment, a past trauma, sure, I'll go play. I'll take my tentacle and go out and touch it, but I am not energetically connected to it anymore. Which means that it's not impacting me anymore. Doesn't mean it's not there. I can tap into it at any time if I want to take my little antenna and tap into it, right? Because everything's existing. Everything's existing in this now moment. So you want to be clear when you're sitting down and intending and creating that you visualize yourself in a sovereign now moment. It's separate. And because it's linear, the way we see stuff is linear. You can visualize it linear, even not. Okay, but it helped me to see past experiences, past traumas, past everything. I like to see it in a linear time frame because then I can understand, oh, it's along the it's along the railroad track, and I'm going to put my hand down and say, okay, I'm cutting it all. And so I'm sovereign in my own space and in my own energetic field. I can turn and see those things in the past. I can turn and see the things in the future, but I'm not energetically connected to it anymore. I don't get a charge from it. It's not impacting my behavior. It's not impacting my decisions. It's not impacting me anymore. The programs aren't controlling me anymore. I'm free. I'm sovereign. That's what it means to collapse a timeline. Collapsing timelines is basically recognizing that you are a sovereign being in this now moment with this frequency and this vibration that is brand new in every now moment. It's brand new. It's brand new. And the more you can do that, the more you can learn how to cut yourself from those timelines in the past that are in the now. But on third dimensional timeline, that railroad track is third dimensional because standing and anchored in a third dimensional realm. You want to separate. It's separate. My energetic cord is not connected to those. I'm sovereign, but I can tap if I want. And it's the same thing for future, right? So if you're energetically connected to a future timeline, what you're doing is you're living in something that you don't have yet, but you can't wait to have. I can't wait until, right? So you're tapping into a timeline in another now moment that you may or may not even get to, right? You may not even jump into that timeline, right? But you're connecting to it energetically because it's there, because there's an infinite amount of possibilities. And you're living there. You're energetically connected to it. You're charged by it, right? So what you want to do is you want to cut those as well, because the more present and now you can get, this is where you create. We create in the now. We don't create by looking back, and we don't create by looking forward. Create by staying in the now moment and creating from this space and this frequency. And then what you end up doing is you're holding that space and then eventually you merge in another now moment with that which you are creating in this now moment. If that makes sense. So think about that as you are sitting down and creating. Okay. So I'm going to hurry up because my internet connection is unstable. But what I do want to share with you guys is start to co-create with the Sirians. Okay. Start talking to them or any other guides. Start asking for what you want. Start. Let's do this. We do this. There will be a time somewhere in another now moment, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, who knows, where co-creation is so natural, where you just start creating everything in your now moment that you want. This is practice. This is it. This is where we start practicing. Oh, everything I've been learning, everything I've been listening to, everything I've been reading, it's happening now. Now it's time for me to practice this. And you don't say, oh, it doesn't work for me. Oh, I can't do it. Everybody else can, but I can't. That's not true. We all have the ability to do all of the things that we are naturally, innately able to do in higher frequencies. The physical form is designed to hold very high frequencies and function in very high frequencies and dimensions. Okay. So this human form that I'm in has the ability to shift into a seventh dimensional field and function. It won't look like this, but it doesn't have to die. This physical form doesn't have to die. It can literally shift and anchor down into a seventh field based on the divine design that it has been designed by 12th dimensional beings millions of years ago. Okay? So we all have the equipment, the software, the ability to do what we are learning how to do. It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, how much studying you've done, how spiritual you are, what kind of Kundalini awakening you have, if your third eye's open or not, or your pineal gland is clear, or whatever they say. None of that matters. Every human form has the same equipment. Every human form. Every human form has DNA. Every human form has the seven energy centers for the channel. Every human form has the higher self and I am presence. Every human form has their guides and their family of light and the angelic realm and all of these beings supporting them, regardless of what they're choosing to experience through the Akashic record. Shift and open and awaken and activate based on the frequencies of light that we're consuming, assimilating, and anchoring into. So you have to practice. And you can't stop. You can't say, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I can't do this. Okay, well, you can quit or you can just keep going and say, no, I know I'm designed to do this. I know I'm designed to do this. You have everything you need in you. So what you're responsible for is the belief systems, the programs, the paradigms, the thoughts. That's what you're responsible for. The emotions you just allow to come up and clear. But you want to get really clear on the paradigms, programs, thoughts, and belief systems. And the paradigms are what you want to actively shift out of. There's no clearing of programs and paradigms, right? You're not clearing those. You are getting clear on what it is that you have laying in, and then you are choosing to say no more. I'm not going to buy into that belief. I'm not going to buy into that. It doesn't serve me. Just because 17 million humans believe it, I have to believe it. If I choose to believe something else and it becomes my reality, how lucky am I? Super lucky. But it takes practice over and over and over. You have to practice. You can't stop. You can't say, well, I can't hear my higher self. I don't care if you can't hear your higher self. You keep asking to hear your higher self. You keep saying, I'm hearing my higher self. I'm hearing my higher self. I'm going to hear my higher self. I know that I'm capable of hearing my higher self because I have a physical form. All you need to hear your higher self, to hear your I am presence, to connect with the galactic beings, to open up your pineal gland to the third eye and all the other things people talk about and, activate the DNA that everyone talks about. All you need is a physical form to get conscious and clear and present. Get present, get clear, get conscious of get into your body, and everything else will happen. It's natural, it's designed, you're designed to. So don't quit and listen to the thoughts you tell yourself. I can't, I won't, I don't know how to. It's not working for me. I'm never going to. That's programming. That's programming in this third dimensional consciousness. It's not true. It's not true. It's not. If you have a physical form, which all of you have, then you have the ability to do this. You just got to get clear on those thoughts that say you can't. You can have the emotions around it, the frustration, the anger, the rage, all those things. There's people that will say, well, I keep asking for all these things and it never unfolds. Guess what? Keep holding the knowingness. You got to keep, not everything comes right away. There's a timing to it because we live in a linear, long, drawn out time. So sometimes, even though it's dropped in this now moment, you may not actually appear for another 6 months for whatever reason. We don't need to know the reasons behind it. We have to know that everything is always happening for our highest good. Always. Whether we like it or not, whether we want it to or not. There's many things that I co-create that don't show up for a while that I want to show up sooner. And then there's things I co-create that happen instantaneously and I could care less. Like, I didn't really want that right now. But there's other things that I'm co-creating that I'm kind of just waiting for, right? Because I'm not attached to the future. Staying very present with the now. That's all that matters. Is just right now. And you guys having all your human emotions around it. There's nothing wrong with screaming. There's nothing wrong with getting angry. There's nothing wrong with feeling sadness and loneliness and despair. There's nothing wrong with feeling like it's not going to happen, right? You can feel that. That's great. But just listen to those thoughts and remember that your physical form is designed to do this. Your physical form is designed to hold in a seventh dimensional frequency. So of course you're going to connect to your higher self. Of course your DNA is going to continue to shift and activate. You don't have to courses on how to do that or go through machines to do it. It's going to naturally happen. It all naturally happens. Human is just so we like things fast, right? It's like we don't like waiting. Instant gratification. Human wants instant gratification. So anyway, part 1 is already saved on the channel. Got cut off because of the frequency. Part 2 is right here. And I was just literally kicked into this live so that the Syrians can share the messages they shared in the first and in this one, which is about work with us. Please work with us. Please ask us. Please co-create with us. Please know you're worthy. Please know you're worthy. Please love yourself enough to start co-creating. Let us magically let us bring you, because what's going to happen, you guys, is the energies are only going to get more intense and we're only going to be able to co-create faster and easier, right? But we have to do it. We have to do it. We have to do it. Hi, everyone. Syrian's going on speed dial. Yeah. So, God, man, I came in strong on that first video. Whew. The Syrians were being channeled through me. Any questions before I jump off? So when you ask for clarity, when you ask for alignment, when you ask for these things, you have here's what co-creation means. I didn't even really go into what co-creation means. So co-creation means that you ask for the things you are kind of bringing in, right? The assistance. It's like it's not that you're not able to do this on your own. It's that these beings can assist you from a higher dimensional realm so happen faster. There's nothing wrong with that. So when you co-create like what it is that you are desiring to have, right? Whether it's a relation, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with desiring. I want a new job, or but what's important is that you are present in your now moment. So you want to be as in the moment as possible, right? Which is where we don't go forward and we don't go back. We just stay in the now. But in the now moment, you can say, God, these are the things that I would really like to step into. This is the timeline I would really like to jump into, right? And so you state those things. These are the old timelines I'd like to get let go of, right? You're getting clear, you're co-creating. You state these things, the higher dimensional beings bring it right in with for you. And then it requires you, dimensional consciousness, to begin to unravel the blank density so that you can step into what you are asking for. So if you're asking for clarity and alignment, right? Get a little bit more clear on what you mean. Here's the other thing with Sirians and any other beings. The more clear you can get, the more direct you can get, the easier it's going to be to figure out how to co-create, right? So clarity and alignment on what kind of clarity, what kind of alignment. Get really specific, okay? And then you have to start to get like acutely aware of your every now. Am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? Am I holding the knowingness that that which I just coded with them is coming? It's already here. I just have to pull the blankets off of me, the densities off of me, the programs off of me, the paradigms off of me, the belief systems off of me, so that I can hold that knowingness 100% and become and be in that new timeline. So your job is to tell them and yourself and your higher self exactly what it is that you are either releasing and letting go of, or to and pulling into the next now moment. It happens. They're like, okay, we got this, right? And that's their job. Their job is to bring it in, and then your higher self's job is to guide through it. So it's clearing the mucky third dimension. Your higher self, like, brush, pushes all that dense nastiness out of the way so that you can follow their guidance, self's guidance, to get you into that timeline. And your job is to follow. Your job is to listen. Your job is to say yes. Your job is to release any densities, any paradigms, any programs. You have to be active. You actively co-create. You don't just sit back and say, okay, this is what I'm co-creating and asking for. I'm just going to sit back and wait. You don't do that. That's not how it works. It's co-creation, working together, side by side, right? Pushes the mucky water out of the way and guides you straight into that which you asked for, which is already there, which is already here. You just have to move into it. Typically, it requires a higher frequency of some sort, right? How do you get into a higher frequency? The density. What's the density you're releasing? The paradigms, programs, thoughts, belief systems, emotions, those kinds of things that have kept you in that other timeline that you are shifting out of. So the higher self's going to move you through that dense nastiness by asking you to look at the paradigms, look at the programs, look at the thoughts, look at the beliefs. Clear them out, young lady. Clear them out, young man. Clear them out by noticing them, by choosing something else, right? And then the higher dimensional beings bring it in. Boom. Almost like they bring it closer to you. It's like they push that timeline closer. Like, let's imagine that you're creating a new job, right? And that job, this is just in linear time, okay? I know that's not how it works, but let's just visualize it linearly. So you want a new job, and that job is like, way down the railroad tracks, right? But you say to your guides and these higher dimensional beings, your higher self, okay, I'm ready for a job. I'm so ready for a new job, and this is how I would like it to be. And you can get specific or not. Sometimes if you're too specific, then you try to control it. If you're not specific enough, then you don't believe it. So you got to play with that whole realm. I tend to not be super specific when I'm creating those kinds of things. Like if I'm bringing in a new partner, I'm not too specific, but I definitely have my criteria, right? A new job, I'll have a criteria. A new house to live in, I had criteria for this place I'm living in now. I had a list. I got almost everything, right? So it's up to you how specific you want to be. But then you kind of like, you order it at the restaurant. The higher dimensional beings are like, oh, there it is. It's in that timeline over there. That's what she's tapping into. Oh, okay, let's pull it closer to her. Boop. Right? On an energetic level, it starts to get real close to you, and you can't feel it or see it yet because you're not quite vibrating at that frequency in order to accept it and bring it in. So the higher self comes down and says, all right, get that thought get that thought through and cleared, get that belief system through and clear. Forget about that program. That's not going to work for you anymore. Are you looking at that paradigm that you believe in? You got to clear that out. Hey, we need you to go in this direction. We need you to go talk to this person. We need you to do these things, right? And if you're listening to the higher self, you're going to jump into this much faster. If you're resisting and denying what the higher self is asking you to do, it's going to take you a lot longer to go through those muddy waters. Right? This is practice. This is practice. It's not easy for us to co-create and say, okay, this is what I want, and then follow the higher self's guidance. Just yes, 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 I'm going to do it all and have no fear and no insecurities and no doubts and none of that. The day come up, the insecurity is going to come up. They're like, oh my God, can I really do this? Should I really go and take that road trip to some town that my higher self is guiding me to do? Or should this 3 weeks from now when I don't really know what's coming, but my higher self is telling me to do that? That seems so crazy, right? How do you know it's your higher self and not your ego? You start practicing. You just have to practice. The higher self has no agenda other than bringing you into the next highest version of you, and it doesn't hold duality. It's not saying yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong. It doesn't hold any of that. It just directs you to what to do. It's very specific. So that's co-creation. That's co-creation. So hopefully that makes sense. It's how we bring it in, you know. And there's a lot of different ways of talking about this, and a lot of different sort of beliefs and how this. And you'll find the way that resonates with you. The point is start doing it. Point is start practicing. The point is trust, become, be the higher dimensional being you're stepping into. That's why you're clearing out all this density. That's why you're clearing all the emotions. That's why you're clearing it out so that you can be this. And then you can start feeling what it feels like to co-create and like be in charge of of this awesome life. It's not always awesome because you're constantly clearing. So move into the life becomes fun. Now there's always doubts that will come up in the beginning, right? I mean, I still have doubts of like, you know, I'm still learning how to navigate this game. I'm learning how to navigate it. But I'm playing. I'm playing in it. I'm 100% invested in playing in this. And we have to play. We have to invest. We have to jump in and really just and do our best to not beat ourselves up. Remember, just come back to the fact that your body, the physical form, is designed to do this. It knows exactly what to do. Um, all right. I think that's it. Hopefully, if you didn't watch the first one about my YouTube channel as well, go have fun with the series either today if it's the A8 for you or tomorrow. And if it's not the A8 and you're listening to this 3 weeks from now, go play with the Sirians anyways. They're still here. Go co-create with any beings. Go co-create with your higher self. Just start co-creating. All right, my loves. There's a rainbow of light behind you. Oh, that's so awesome. I love that. It's really beautiful. I love you, Trish. Okay, you guys, take care of yourselves. Be gentle with you. And I don't know when I'll come back on live. Who knows? I'll be on the Carrie Murphy show tomorrow. For some of us, it's tomorrow. For some of us, today, 8/8 at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is California time. 11 a.m. California time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what it is, London time, GMT. But anyway, I'll be live. And it's really excited because I'll be bringing in the Syrians and we'll be doing a live activation with them. And if you saw me earlier in the first YouTube live, you saw how potent they are. So it'd be great for you guys to join. I will, you can find the link on, where can you find the link? Just go to Straight Talk for the Soul, or you can go to Yeah, Straight Talk for the Soul link on the internet. How else can you get the link? Shoot, I don't know. On my Facebook page, Lori Ladd, or on my Instagram. Um, yeah, hey Bonnie, I'll see you there. So come hang with us, you guys. Come hang with the Syrians tomorrow. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm excited. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.